What up, what up, what up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to another live stream. It's a lot going on out here in these streets, in these YouTube streets, regarding this issue, this immigration and ICE situation, you guys, with immigrants in this country, deportations, all of this stuff is still happening and everybody has something to say. And so I just wanted to bring it back because we kind of touched on this in some previous lives or a previous live before, but I wanted to bring it back to get your thoughts on it because it's a evolving situation. And I'm trying to figure out if we're ripping the Band-Aid off of something that's been a long stemming issue, or more people being exposed as to how they really feel about Black Americans. That's the thing I want to talk about, and I want to get y'all thoughts on it. So definitely chime in the comments, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip that I have for y'all, and I want you to chime in.
A new memo from ICE expediting the deportation process for immigrants being held in facilities like Alligator Alcatraz. While many immigrants in this country are in legal limbo, ICE is now authorized to deport all detained non-U.S. citizens, including long-term U.S. residents, to countries that are not their native land with only 24 hours notice. The policy, laid out in a memo by Todd Lyons, the acting director of ICE, expands the controversial use of third-party deportations, which had been used in the past but was rare. Just last week, Lyons saying this.
So we want to, get these people back to their home countries safely and humanely after they're ordered deported. This new facility is a great one. And what it's doing for us is ICE, it doesn't detain punitively. We detain to remove people. So we don't want to have people in custody.
This comes as ICE was granted a record $45 billion over the next 4 years. The memo also says they won't be eligible for bond hearings. In the past, immigrants have been able to request a bond hearing before an immigration judge. Now they can be held until the remainder of their removal proceedings. Immigration advocates say it effectively denies due process because it's nearly impossible to gather a proper defense in such a short period of time.
There are really disturbing, vile conditions.
At the same time, Democratic lawmakers who toured the facility in the Everglades are calling for its closure. People packed into cages, temps at 83 degrees in air-conditioned areas, and concerns over food.
Now, this is the area where they'll be placing illegal immigrants until they're able to deport them back to where they came from. But they're talking about the conditions of the place where they'll be holding these people, and they're saying that it's horrible conditions, but also they're saying they're not going to be there for a long period of time. What do you guys think about this? Let's continue.
Get their drinking water and they brush their teeth, where they poop in the same unit.
Florida's Attorney General, who was one of the main architects of the facility, defended the conditions.
This facility is probably nicer than most of the jails and prison facilities in Florida, and it certainly doesn't have to be.
They did break the law. They are illegals or undocumented, but they have been here for more than 5 years, contributing to the economy.
In light of all of this, Florida Congresswoman Maria Elvira Salazar introducing a bill that would protect those who have been in the country for 5+ years.
No path to citizenship in my law, no amnesty, no path ever. Just bring them out of the shadows, make them pay a fine for 7 years. That is billions of dollars to the Treasury. No federal programs, no health insurance, and then they can go back home for Christmas. They can come back, continue working, buying homes, paying taxes, and contributing to the economy.
And Congresswoman Maria Elvira is actually having a news conference right now in Washington, D.C., where she is speaking about that bill that she is introducing called the Dignity Immigration Act. We will have much more on all of this later on this afternoon.
So within a year, we're getting houses, buying cars, feeding numerous family members, starting businesses. Should I continue? Damn!
I've been working very hard lately, and I just got tired of making videos. I decided I was gonna take the day off and enjoy OnlyFans. I was gonna enjoy a whole day of self-clapalization until I got this notification. I opened the message and I was like, what is this? Then I saw exactly what it was. Somebody had shared a link from Tariq Nasheed, and Tariq Nasheed had posted this about somebody. A Nigerian immigrant who fled to the US said foundational Black Americans should be grateful that Nigerians come here and liberate our mindsets to start businesses. And he said Nigerians are the evolution of Black Americans.
Shout out to O'Shea. What's going on, O'Shea? What do you think about that statement that Nigerians or Africans have come here and elevated the minds of Black Americans? What are your thoughts on it? They elevated Black Americans. I want to get y'all thoughts on that. Let's continue this conversation. This video. Here we go.
I decided to press play.
Honestly, I'm sick and tired of hearing a lot of people saying things about Black people this, Africa this, and that. Let's get some facts straight. If you hate Africa so much, that's fine. Don't try to find out where your ancestors are from. It's okay, you're born here, accept that. We accept that too. But we never force our narratives on you that are over here, or people who claim to be born over here. That's fine. But you guys find it so okay and normal to talk nonsense and say stupid things about Africans or the people that migrated from Africa to the United States. Like it's the end of the world for them. Listen, let me tell you something you don't understand. Just because we come over here to adventure into things does not make us less of who we are. You should be actually grateful for the fact that Africans come over to the United States or to the other countries to help liberate you guys from the things you don't even know.
Wait, now, so Africans have come to America to help to liberate Black Americans? Is that what he's saying? What's your thoughts on that? How have Africans who've come to this country, how have they? Now, it's only about 10.4% of them in the US since, this was done in last year, 2024. There's only a small percentage of Africans overall, immigrants, including, Africans overall, 10.4% of them in the US. My question is, and look, because I don't fully understand, but I want to understand, how is it that Africans have come here and liberated Black Americans? In what way? Please let me know. I want to hear in the comments. Let me know. I want to hear y'all thoughts. I'm really just trying to learn. Let's continue.
It's just like in the Bible, like when God told Adam and Eve not to eat the forbidden fruit. I'll put it this way. We are the forbidden fruit. There's a lot of things you guys didn't know existed until we started coming here. If we didn't come here, some of you wouldn't even have that mindset to be trying to endeavor in different type of businesses. I'm not saying you guys haven't been doing that for a while, but at the same time, we are the evolution of you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Wait a minute. Shout out to Philip Scott. Africans are the evolution of Black Americans. I don't know. He kind of make it seem like before Africans came here that Black people didn't have jobs, that we didn't have Black millionaires, that damn, you might as well say we didn't own homes. We didn't own nothing. We didn't have anything before Black Africans came over. Is like we said, the evolution mean that Black people didn't grow or develop until Africans came over. That's what he's making it sound like. That's what it sounds like he's saying. That before they came, we were sitting back doing nothing and had nothing, when we know that's just not true. So where is the evolution coming from? And I'm not saying that they haven't contributed or they haven't brought something here, but in mass, how did they really evolve Black Americans and make them better, where they didn't know how to buy a house or do things like that, or when there are way more American Blacks who own homes than African immigrants in this country. Let's continue.
Gentlemen, every day we finding more and more videos of people, just crashing out, on FBAs. Now this one here, I want you to hear what she has to say, because some of this stuff is just, check this out.
And the FBAs are so delusional that as soon as you don't agree with them and you're dark skinned as an African American, you're a tether. Now I'm cosplaying. Now I'm forcing my Chicago accent. Can you tell that to my ancestors that was enslaved in Mississippi? Or can you tell that to my great granddaddy who fled Tennessee with all of his siblings to Chicago because he unalived the white G-man that was trying to dangle them from trees? Or what about my grandparents that were Black Panthers? I'm not a tether, and I wasn't born on the continent of Africa. I just don't agree with your xenophobic, because the same people calling African people tethers and calling them African booty scratchers called me the same in third grade. because of my skin tone and my facial features. I'm sorry my great-great-grandmother did not get SA by the slave masters, I guess. I'm sorry that when you look at me, you're reminded of your West African roots. But I can't help that. I'm still African American, and I still disagree.
As you heard, this woman says that, you know, she is an African American, and if that's what she want to label herself, she's definitely welcome to do that. But she wants to say that FBAs are delusional, and, you know, maybe somebody I don't know referred to her as a, you know, quote unquote tether. Maybe somebody referred to her as that. Now, the African booty scratcher thing, I don't really know anybody probably in your age group that used that. Now, that was a diss when I was a kid, but I haven't heard too many kids saying that in your age group, because you're definitely not my age and nowhere close to it. But everybody is coming after FBA. Everybody is saying, oh, y'all FBAs, or we heard that not only FBAs are delusional, FBAs on a white supremacist pipeline, FBAs that have the American flag, oh, they join in with the white people. What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all focusing so much on FBA? Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Is delineation that much of a shocking thing to y'all?
Yeah, I think there's something going on, y'all. But, you know, once again, I really believe that this whole immigration ICE situation has really got them in their feelings, and they're just taking it out on FBAs. You need to be mad at the ICE people, not us. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't do nothing. We didn't do nothing. I don't get it. And it seems to me like, you know, everything seemed to be copacetic until the separations start happening. You know, when the idea of people who are immigrants are in this country, and if they're in this country, because that's all I'm focused on, illegally. If you're here legally, I'm not talking to you. But if you're here illegally and you're being separated and forced out, then it seems like that's when all of this came up. That's when all of this came out. And then they start trying to, you know, we next and we need to do this. And oh my God, Latinos thought Black Americans were immigrants. So that's why they voted the way they did, because they thought we were going to be shipped out of this country as if we're not born here. We're not from here. They thought something differently, which was really mind-boggling to me. If we establish that we're Black Americans, which I think that, you know, which that's what I claim myself as. I believe I'm a Black American. I have no ties to Africa. You know, even though I know ancestors and things of that nature I know my ancestors and all that come from Africa, of course, but I've never been to Africa. I have no known family in Africa. I don't celebrate or, you know, African traditions because I'm from America. I'm American. So I don't have any cultural ties to Africa, even though my lineage may come from there. I personally, and you can track back grandmothers, great-grandmothers, great-great-great-grandmothers. We have ties in history that goes back hundreds of years. You know, and then it's interesting to me how they say we can't trace our lineage. Yes, we can. We aren't from Africa. That's the thing. We're from America. So we can trace our lineage back from America and beyond, and to Africa as well. Let's continue.
America has put out that new census report differentiating African Americans from the different type of melanated people from islands and actually from Africa. And some people are confused on like, why? Baby, because they're trying to get ahead of things. They're trying to give us the truth, even though we're already discovering the truth. They're trying to possibly prevent us from wanting to correct our statuses, where you differentiated us from African American to the other types of melanated people. Baby, give us our titles back. And actually, don't give us shit. Don't give us shit, because we're going to still take it. We're still going to take it. Yeah, we're still going to take it because we're not even African Americans. We don't want your reclassification. No. We want our land back, and we want our titles back. We want our ability to be able to operate freely on our land. So if you think you're doing us a big one by differentiating us and letting the world know that we're actually African Americans, no, baby. Do us the biggest one and get the fuck out of here. Okay? But to anyone who is confused, it is because out where y'all all think we look alike, honey, a lot of us don't come from Africa. And if our DNA does come from Africa, it's because our ancestors migrated here, possibly through the Grand Canyon, but it's okay. different topic, different story, different day, but we were here. And many of us can trace our genealogy many generations right here on American soil. And before 1865, before they came, doing stuff, doing the mostest to the hostess, we were already here. And we didn't go by African American. So while they think they're differentiating us, they put our real titles up there. Give us back, don't give us, we're taking it.
So this is the new census, US Census for race and ethnicity. I know a lot of y'all struggle with that. Black immigrants. So you see up here at the top is white. You have German, Irish. I don't see anything about white American up there. I guess they just own the white box. Then you have Hispanic or Latino. Wow, congratulations to the Latino and Hispanics. Y'all finally got y'all own race after avoiding it for hundreds of years. Now you no longer have an excuse to identify as white, but yeah, whatever. So you have Mexican or Mexican American, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Salvadorian, Dominican, Colombian. Here we go. A black box. Black or African American. So you could choose African American if you're African American. You could choose Jamaican. You could choose Haitian. You could choose Nigerian, Ethiopian, Somali. I know Somali probably wish they were down here in the Middle Eastern or North African box. As you can see down here, they don't consider themselves as racially black. They're not black race-wise, but they could still check off Middle Eastern or North African. African, yeah. But once again, I want to go back to the black box. You see that? We're the Americans, right? Okay, then you have Asian. I guess, no, there's no such thing as an Asian American, according to the census. But anyway, here's American Indian or Alaska Native. Then you go down here, there's a Native Hawaiian, or into the Mexicans. How you see how this says the Mayan or Aztec, they're under American Indian and Alaska Native box. So you guys got your own box, and it doesn't say indigenous nowhere over here. But yeah, tell me how you feel about this census.
So here's something that came up on my FYP. Are we still African Americans at this point? And before anybody gets mad, this is not a take, it's a question I'm legitimately asking. Most ethnic identities in the US, like the Irish Americans or the Italian Americans, they fade after a few generations. And according to some studies, by the third generation, most people stop identifying strongly with their ancestral roots. They still might celebrate the food or the holidays, but for the most part, it just becomes symbolic, right? And then they just say Americans. Some of them do still claim the Irish or the Italian, but Americans. But that's not how it works for us. Many black families in this country have been here a lot longer than some white ones, 7, 8, or 9 generations deep. And still, the African and African American stays. Even though we don't know the country, the tribe, the language, even though the actual link was violently severed. So the question becomes, is it heritage? Is it race? Or is it the only category that we were ever offered? And does it still fit? No right or wrong answer here. Not saying what it should be, I'm just wondering out loud. How long does it take before a label is considered outdated? Or do some labels stick because the system won't let it go? Does African American still feel like a connection? Or has it become a placeholder for something that we were never allowed to fully define? What do you think?
Yeah, that's the question I had too. And that's where I come from, because I'm like, there's no connection, there's no history, for most Black Americans in America, we're born here. Our mothers are born here. Our fathers are born here. Our grandparents are born here. Our great-great-grandparents are born here and further on. So what's the connection between Africa and American? We're born into America. We have American history. You know what I'm saying? We didn't come here as children or adults as immigrants. We didn't come here. I think that's why once again, a lot of people are shocked that Black people aren't immigrants. This is why there's no relationship between Black Americans and Africa, because that is not a part of our culture. It's not a part of us. So it would make sense that we're just Americans, really, just Americans. We're Americans. That's it. Let's continue.
So let's talk about this new census and the new categories. All right. So this is the census, and it lists a whole bunch of different ethnicities or countries of origin, right? And when you see the countries of origin, you're going to understand the ancestral background of everyone and who's coming over here, who's being an immigrant or migrating over here to the United States, okay? So this is how they keep account, and they're making it way more specific now, way more specific. And again, I tell you, the government looks at what you say, okay? And the government caught wind, bam. So this is a new census. And now some people are asking, why does African American have American behind it? Because that's our ethnic group's name. That's the name we chose. We chose a compound word. And we chose the nation of our origin as a part of our ethnic group name. That's why. That's our ethnic group's name. Okay? Now, the census does have the other ethnic labels from Nigerian to Somali down on here, and you can write it in. Okay? And the reason they don't have American in that is because, first of all, African Americans we are literally the founding of the country. Okay? Now, as far as the other groups, America is not their origin. Right? It's not their origin. Their origin is from a different modern day country before they got to where? The United States of America. So basically they're focusing on, ethnicity focuses on the nation and cultural origins of a person, right? In the nation and cultural origins of African American is right here in the United States of America. Okay? This is the reason why when you see immigrants come over and you have first and second generation, they have their flags, right? They have their flags. Like Mexico, Mexican people of Mexican descent, they'll have their Mexican flag. They'll fly that. Or they'll have, or people from Nigeria, they'll fly the Nigerian flag. Or from Ghana, they might fly that flag or whatever, right? That's understood to mean that is your nation of cultural origin. Okay? With African Americans, this is our nation and culture of origin right here. Plus it's in our name automatically. Because that's what we chose. That's the reason. That's the reason. African Americans' nation and culture of origin stems right here in the United States. It does not stem anywhere else. It does not stem anywhere else. Regardless of what's in our DNA. We co-founded the country of the United States of America. And our culture comes out of it. You're talking in circles. Okay, so the reason they don't ask Black American people on the census their country of origin is because our country of origin is the United States of America. It's the United States Census. Okay? That's number one. Number two, you said you don't understand why all other racially Black people have to state their country.
Yeah, that you would think that would be common sense because you're not from here. I don't understand. Why is that so difficult? Your country of origin is the country that you come from. And I think maybe because they're thinking, I guess they're thinking, because Black people were slaves and they came from, you got to go back to slavery, right? Y'all let me know, please. If I'm tripping, if I'm not making sense, let me know. But if you keep going back, if that's how they're thinking, because they got to be, that's the only way they could be thinking of. We're from here. We're from America, the United States. We didn't come from anywhere else. This is it. So this would be our country of origin. You can't go back to the slave time and put us in the slaves category because that wasn't us. That was before us, right? And when everything was starting, there's no, I don't understand. Like, it's a major difference, and that's why I'm trying to make sense of it all. This is why it was really mind-boggling to me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like shocked and appalled that these people thought that Black Americans were immigrants. I don't understand how. But anyway, so there seem to be some of them are still confused by it, wondering why, as with the new census, okay, it says Black or African American, and that's it. You don't have to, when you go to Africans or whoever, they gotta put their place of origin. Where are you from? Ghana, wherever. You gotta put that. You gotta pick one and pick where you came from, because you're not born here. You're not from America. So it makes sense that you would have to put your place of origin, where you were born or where you grew up, where you're actually from, and you immigrated here. But you got to put we didn't immigrate here. That's the thing. We didn't decide our ancestors, from the history of slavery and all of that. Those people didn't decide to come here. There's a difference. They were enslaved, taken, and brought here. So that's a difference. And then we are the descendants of those slaves, but we are not the slaves. We didn't, we didn't decide to come, we've been here for years and years and years and years and years, our people. So I don't understand why that was so complicated. I don't know. Let's continue.
Why wouldn't they have to stay there if they're coming into the United States from their country of origin? They will state their country of origin, who they are. Their country of origin is not the United States. African Americans' country of origin is the United States. That is why when any other racially black group or racially white group they come into the United States of America, they're immigrants to the United States of America. And so the census asks, what is your nation of origin? Because that is statistics, it's a count of who is in the country. Did you not, even here in the United States, after people get here and been living here for years, whether they become American or not, okay? Because when you see all the other nations now, just because you moved to America and been living here for 7 years, it doesn't mean you're American. There are certain things you have to do to become American, okay? So even when people are here for years, right? You see the flag. They fly the flags of their nation of origin, okay? Some will have it in their cars. Some will have it on their houses. Some will have it in their social media posts. So I'm not understanding what you mean, why you don't understand why other racially black people around the globe have to say their nation of origin on the census when they come into the United States of America. Because that's a count. It's a count of who is in the country. I'm not understanding what's going. And the reason why black Americans don't is because we are already in our country of origin. People from, just because we are all racially black doesn't mean that we have the same nationality or the same ethnicity. Is that what's confusing? I'm not quite sure why you're upset that other people from other nations have to mark on the census their country of origin. I'm not sure why is that upsetting you, because it's not upsetting. And just like I told you before, in the blank, they can even go as far as, if they want to go ahead and make it more specific, they can write down their actual ethnic group as well as nation, okay, on the census. Why is that upsetting to you?
Yeah, I don't understand why it's upsetting. But then also too, I think this is the point I want to make. A lot of immigrants, whether they're Latin, African, whatever, they make it a point to distinguish themselves from being Black American a lot of times. If now the census or whoever is making a distinction between all of it, why would that even be an issue when a lot of these people who look, way darker than me, at first sight, you're like, oh, that's a black person. But then when you hear them speak, you realize, okay, that person is not from this country, but they're really dark. A lot of those people have a problem with being considered black. So if there's now a clear distinction between who is who and where you come from, I would think that'd be something they'd be grateful for, because most people don't want to, that look black, normal American black, look black just by looking at them. They don't want to be considered black. But let's continue.
I don't get it. I mean, even when people who move over here, there's a visa. I'm sure the visa can, there's information about you. There's information about people who move over here already. So why is it upsetting when it comes to the census?
The reason why Africans have this negative connotation on African Americans is because of the stereotypes, what they're seeing on TV. For an example, my mom, she's American. I don't know what part of Africa she was from. My dad, he's Ghanaian.
She's American, but
at the end of the day,
I don't know. They're American. But you wouldn't say that to a Jamaican.
But they're African American though.
Would you say a Jamaican don't know what part of Africa he's from?
Jamaicans are Caribbean, so they already have their own.
Would you say he don't know what part of Africa he's from?
But he know where he comes from. He comes from Jamaica.
Jamaica is from Jamaica, right?
Yes.
An American is from where?
An African American is from Africa and America.
And this is why that term is confusing, is which I hear people just say Black Americans now, because we try to do the right thing and at least acknowledge our ancestry. You don't see a Haitian saying I'm African Haitian or a Jamaican saying I'm African. We try to do the right thing and acknowledge our ancestry, and now it's being used. Well, what part? Like, no, just for that, we just Black Americans now. Like, all that African Americans, we Black Americans now.
Listen, I thought this was interesting, y'all. This is crazy, the way people think. And once again, just being a Black American, I know I don't go around hating nobody. I don't have hatred in my heart for anybody. I don't care what color you are. I say it all the time: red, black, green, blue. I have respect for everybody. When I go into places where it's you're treated as a human being by me, I just expect the same treatment. But that's unfortunately, as Black Americans, we're not treated that way all the time. There are instances that all of us can bring up where we've been called the N-word, or somebody has done something toward us. We've never done anything to you. So we have that experience as Black Americans. So we can speak on it, and we don't have to be completely mad about it. We can acknowledge that it exists. So acknowledging that something exists doesn't mean that we're hateful. It just means that we know that it exists and we call it out.